Star Ocean, the second story art, is set to release onto the Nintendo Switch on November 2nd, and Square Enix has taken to social media to provide us with plenty of brand new details and a whole heck of a lot new gameplay. So today, not only do I want to go over essentially 10 brand new features that this game is going to be introducing to this beloved franchise, and more specifically to this brand new HD 2D-ish type remake, or HD 2.5D aesthetic remake as Square Enix is calling it. I also want to go over a couple of character introductions and some combat information that they have decided to provide us with. So I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for the official Square Enix Star Ocean Second Story R website, and a couple of details that they provided there if you so desire to check them out from the official source. Starting out, they simply mention that they give a little bit of an outline for what the story is, and more importantly, what this game is all about. They mention that the highly acclaimed second installment of the Star Ocean series returns as Star Ocean, the Second Story R, brought to life with charming 2.5D aesthetic, which fuses 2D pixel art characters and 3D environments. This remake introduces everything that made the original release so great by adding brand new elements. Experience new battle mechanics in full Japanese or English voiceovers. The original rearranged music has also been completely reworked, and discover the definitive version of this classic but modernized JRPG that's perfect for newcomers and long-time fans. So that's a little bit of an outline that they provide as what the game is all about. Then they talk about, of course, the story. Space Date 366. A Federation officer finds himself transported to a mystical planet. While searching for a way home, they encounter a young girl that draws him into a quest to save her people, just as an ancient prophecy foretold. Choose your path and witness the awakened destiny. And that's the beauty of this game, and something that a lot of players, specifically from the original, will remember well, is that it essentially, in typical Star Ocean fandom, if you will, would know this, that the series has been well known for kind of like choosing your story path. You get to dictate the way things are going to go along. As more options are presented, the more you play along. So essentially, it just provides replayability options that simply were not available in the past. When it comes to combat, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of the characters, they talk about explosive real-time action is being fully reworked and completely introduced. Enjoy fast-paced combat and new mechanics to strategically defeat foes without having a button mash, which is a really interesting twist there. They mentioned that deal massive damage with new break and assault actions. The battle effects and motion have been further refined by making the action more exhilarating than ever before. Now, this being a little bit of a couple of the developers that are working on this have come to work from the Bravely Default franchise. The break and assault action options are being kind of like brought over from that franchise. Break is something that we have seen from like Octopath, for example, or like Bravely Default. Essentially, you build up and then you kind of break down characters as you kind of amass massive damage. But this time, being more action instead of turn-based, it provides the assault action feature, where essentially you're building up skills from one character to another character to another character, and it provides a break. So essentially, you can take build up a meter to essentially break enemies and be able to do much more damage to them in ways you didn't think of before. And some of those characters that are going to be doing massive damage on them are something that we do get to see not only in the couple of new gameplay clips that you do get to see there, but introductory pieces as well are also included. They talk about, for starters, Claude C. Kenny, a young man with issues about his father, a great hero. He holds the ranks of second lieutenant in the Pangealetic Federation. From an early childhood to now, he's always felt his father's shadow looming in from everyone who regards him. It makes him doubtful of his own skills, giving him a somewhat rebellious streak. By nature, he's a serious-minded, caring person whose sense of justice makes it impossible to ignore everyone in trouble. And of course, that is one of your protagonists. Then of course you have Rena Lanford, a pure-minded girl with healing powers, a girl who lives with her mother Westla in Arlia, a village far of the end of Expel. Affectionate and guiltless, she is well liked by everyone. However, she knows that the Westa is on her adopted mother. And considering her unique healing skills, she has concerns about where she truly comes from. And of course, referencing before from the story, that is who you get to pretty much save. The story continues talking about Celine Jules, a treasure hunter gifted in symbiology. The symbiologist of Marseille, a hotbed of symbiotic arts, far more interested in training than money and love. She regularly goes treasure hunting as a hobby whenever she's free, and in battle she is a more powerful presence when providing support from the rear, but lacks close combat skills. So she's great as a magician, but not necessarily a full frontal assault fighter. Then they talk about Ashton Anchors, an unhappy swordsman possessed by two-headed dragons. A swordsman, Claude and Rena, encounter them as they try to kill a two-headed dragon spoken of in Selva. He fights by mixing up symbology and dual sword styles, and easily, as you see the character gameplay clips there, whenever you see Ashton kind of fight, he always stands out. Just that whole duality of having two different elemental dragons to his swordsman-like skills certainly stand out. Another one that will not be left in the shadows, though, is of course Diaz Flack, the lone swordsman of a never-ending quest for strength, an Arlian swordsman who's known Rena since childhood. He's known across as Expel, an accomplisher of sword mastery. Experiencedly using all manners of cutting down slashing weapons, he specializes in long-range attacks based on sword arts and magic. So if you're looking for that extra close quarter or long range magical combat, specifically with swords, Diaz is your guy. Lastly, of course, they talk about Preces F. Newman, an inventor taking on her own path in life, a young girl who lives with her father as the academically driven town of Lingba. Influenced by the inventions of her father, she's taken an interest in machine technology, fighting with tools like Robot Puncher in her backpack and Robbie, a small transformable robot she developed. And as you know, if probably you have been a fan of the series, you know that Princess Newman is probably one of the more fan favorite characters in this specific release. So once again, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for their blog update and their social media pages, as new information is continuing to drip out, and I cannot wait to be able to get my hands on this game and certainly review it if Square Enix does provide me a review copy, specifically for the Nintendo Switch. If you're brand new to my channel, though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.